Okay, it
Hello.
is. Hi, Sarah. It is 5:15 on Thursday, May 15th, and we are at the regular Marketing and Communications Committee meeting in City Hall. And the first order of business is to consider approving the minutes from the previous meeting of April 17th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I will second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Well, there's no one to oppose, I guess. It's just you and me, Rebecca. Okay, general agenda items for consideration. Discuss and consider the April revenue and expense reports. I don't know if anyone had any questions on anything on those reports this time around. Okay, hearing none. Guess we can move on. We're good on that. Item 2, we will let Scott elaborate on this, but it's the annual business survey results and discussion. And I gave everybody a handout of the email that was sent out. So Scott, I'll let you just kind of take it and lead that.
Yeah, this email that you have in front of you went out this morning. We sent to 385 Merrill businesses, and we only got an 18% response, which was below what we wanted, but I think the fact that we followed up fairly quickly this year with the results, I think businesses will trust next year a little bit more when we send out the survey. So I'm hoping that next year it just continues to grow. Of the 32 of the 68 companies, you can see they did advertise for an open position. I was kind of surprised how many did not. But still, 32 is pretty high. 62% of those actually received applications from outside the Merrill area, Lincoln County and Marathon County area. And you can see the numbers there. 12 received 0 applications, 10 received 1 to 5, 4, 6 to 10, and 6 received more than 10. 7 companies did hire from outside Lincoln and Marathon counties, but within Wisconsin. And then 4 companies actually hired from outside of Wisconsin, primarily medical. And then the others they hired either from Lincoln County, but most of them hired from Merrill. So this does indicate that they did receive applications outside of the area, but they overwhelmingly hired from within. And we don't know the reason for that, and that's something that, as we expand the survey, we did include a questionnaire at the end if they want to provide us with some more information. Is there a preference to hiring local, which I would think there would be, or was there a difference in skill sets? Just a little deeper understanding next time around would be helpful. But I think for first year, this gives us some good information. Let us know that the messages are getting out there, that people are hiring, or at least getting the applications. And then, from there, you can see the 3 questions that we're asking them to give us additional information on. So it'll be interesting to see if Rod gets some additional information. So overall, I'd say if I had to give it a grade from a A to a F, I'd give it a B-. And I think, like anything, there's room for improvement, but I think we really set a good solid foundation for years to come on doing this annual survey and each year adding and getting more information. So before I move to the video, is there any questions about the survey?
I just think it's good that we let the businesses know that our intention is to do this annually, just to kind of see how we're growing, if we're growing, what.
Yeah, and it was a pretty good mix of types of companies too. Anywhere from construction to retail. So the responses weren't like 25% of what type of industry. They were all over the place. So, we did get some good responses from a varied audience, which is always good too. So I'd say retail is the most, but they only had, I think 5 was the most they had out of the responses. So it wasn't like they overwhelmed it. So we did get a good variety of responses from a diverse group of corporations. Any other comments or questions about that? At the same time, we did receive 12 companies responded that they would be willing to do a video or a testimonial for the city about working here and living here, which I think is awesome. It's also a variety of companies as well. We have construction and we have retail. We have some new businesses. We have some older businesses. So I think we're going to get some good videos on that. I've started a script questionnaire in the background so that when we do the video, they'll be consistent. And at the same time, we're going to do these videos. I want to do B-roll, which means I want to go out and shoot areas that, outside the areas along the river and all that kind of stuff, so that we can interject these not only in these videos so that we just don't have a talking head on there for 30 to 60 seconds, but we can integrate, some of the outside of their business. When they're talking about life, if they're talking about the trail, we can have the trail. And also still photography. Since we're out there doing this, just take the camera, a still camera as well. So we're going to leverage this opportunity not only to get the testimonials for the video, for written testimonials, but for imagery that we can use in the future, and to look for some consistency and how we handle the questions and everything like that, so that we can start to build upon the brand. So that's the next step. Probably have the script done in the next couple weeks, and then we can reach out to these companies and actually set up the interviews. Kind of want the weather to change just a little bit more. I mean, it's have a little bit more, a few more leaves on the trees and a few less dandelions in the lawns, and go from there. But I think we're in good shape to get this done this summer, no problem.
Okay, and I know you had drafted up a follow-up email to those companies.
Yep, and Rod's going to be sending that out too.
Okay, so
Yep.
that's going to go out soon?
Yeah, when it was supposed to go out in the afternoon, the one
Okay.
went out in the morning, the other one out in the afternoon.
Okay, all right.
Just let the city, the people that participated or didn't participate, we want them to know that we, still include them in what's going on. So that's why we sent it to everybody. Motivate them for next year, because they might go, this doesn't make sense, and we'll go, well, then participate.
Yeah, okay, great,
That's all I got.
good. Any other comments or discussion about the survey or the follow-up type things?
We purposely kept it very simple this year just to kick it off. I think each year we can get a little bit deeper.
I think it's also something we can expand on maybe down the road as far as some of our housing too, to see, are we getting people that are moving in from outside the state? Are they moving, so I think that kind of sets a template or a format for us to follow to get some of that information
Yep.
down the road from realtors or construction crews or whatever.
Sounds good.
Okay, item 3. We've had this on the agenda for a little bit, and I think just because of the follow-up to the survey and stuff that we want to carry on with this as well. It's discuss and consider marketing strategy revisions. And I know at the end of that email, there was some next steps that talked about possibly stopping or putting a pause on things and reevaluating our strategy and trying to look at, how to target our target
I'll take the
audience.
next step, basically.
Yeah. So I think that's something that we definitely should be looking at. I don't know if anybody's got any comments or any thoughts to
I'm
me
gonna,
about that.
I do have a comment on that. Surprise. We've run this campaign now for a while. And so it's not, it's normal business practice to say, okay, let's take a step back now, evaluate what worked, what didn't work, what could be better, what do we have resources for, what we don't have resources for, and, put things on the table to really think about them. I always tell people, I don't care if it's the way we did it before, let's think fresh. I think we have a good foundation, but I think, there's some things that after seeing this play out, that there's some things that, we might want to take a good look at. We want to take a look at the creative. Is it time to freshen that up? Different stuff like that. So.
And I do think that this was a very good way to make the awareness of the, our intent to rebrand Merrill and to put a positive spin on things. And I think that we've done quite a bit of making that awareness available, and getting that message out. But I guess what I would like to do in light of, our ongoing discussions and some of the things that we're considering and talking about and changing up, rather than just continuing to swing at the fence and hope we hit something, I think that we probably need to take a pause on things. And so I'd like to make a motion to pause all the current marketing spending that we do right now and reevaluate our messaging strategy and focus on jobs and how to better reach the target markets and things like that. And then should come back and evaluate the most cost-effective media mix long-term. Because I think, right now we're spending a significant amount on marketing that we can't say with 100% or even 75% that it's being as effective as we need it to be or as we'd like it to be. So.
Yeah, then I can ask a question, right? Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion?
Yeah. So if we pause it, that would be all of it. It wouldn't be till the end of a month, or it would just be paused now?
I think we would pause it until we determine if, if there's something more we want to do. If we've, after we've spent some time reevaluating, figuring out what we want to do, it gives us some time to look at how do we finish out the year. Are we changing directions? Are we going to have to budget differently for 26, and so I would say that we would pause our spending now indefinitely until we have a better idea of which way forward we're going to go. And when I'm talking about spending, I mean just the advertising portions of it, not saying we eliminate Hallie and put her on pause or anything like that, but just to continue, reevaluating where we're going so that we're doing it as wisely and cost efficiently as we can.
So we'd bring this back to the next meeting and discuss the budget and...
I don't know if we'd discuss the budget next. I think we would probably just discuss our strategies, look to see what we would need to tune up, what we might want to change, and what we might want to revamp. I don't know.
Some of the things that we want to look at is with the utilization of video. What can we do more with some of the video that we're doing? These testimonials, I think, are going to be good. Taking a good look at, what, with the focus, we look at the statistics, and Midwest Communications done a good job of providing us with background on all this. Jobs continues to be the number one thing. Closely behind it is our housing. But do we need to do, something stronger? Find out from the businesses, is that still their number one priority here? So we need to talk to the community just a little bit more too, and then really kind of do that. And, personally, my goal would be by the end of the summer, have a new strategy in place so that we would know what we were going into when budget time comes for the city, and go from there.
Okay.
So we may or may not start up again this year. I think that's going to be part of the discussion.
Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with pausing it.
Have we had discussions too with realtors, title companies, anything like that, with what they're seeing from people moving into the area, or have they been, getting referrals from out of the area or anything like that? I mean, obviously they probably would have gotten the survey, but that's another avenue to at least have that discussion too and see maybe what their thoughts are with housing and jobs, and if they're talking to people, if they're hearing from people. I don't know if we've done that.
Yeah,
Rod has been talking with some of the realtors and the builders to see what they're
Hearing.
seeing
Yep.
and seeing move
Okay.
in, move out. So I have to say he's really been on top of that.
Awesome.
And keeping
I
me
figured someone
informed,
must
so-
be.
Yep. So
yeah, the realtors would be good. I know we've reached out to them a couple times, so I'm glad Rod's doing that.
Yeah, I think that's an important piece that would go along with it. And I think that, those pieces of information coupled together, we've talked about establishing some type of relationship with the school system and recruiting and retaining kids as they're graduating or as they're graduating from tech or whatever. But if we're not even sure who our companies are looking for as far as potential employees, who do we target and how do we best do it? So I think those are all pieces that we have to kind of together and get a little better handle on. And then maybe we can go back to the schools as well and say, you know, there's a big demand for people in this field or that field or whatever field it is, and can we work with you and the economic development, Lincoln County Economic Development to, come up with some training that's specific to that for this, kind of thing. So I think there's a lot of direction we can go. It's just honing it down and focusing on the right pieces in the right order, I think.
May I just clarify your motion?
Sure.
It's to pause current marketing spending and reevaluate for long-term marketing? Is that, because I couldn't.
Yeah, I think.
Do you need to include the Hallie comment in there?
No.
Yeah, I think
She's out of a separate.
Just to pause current marketing and advertising spending, maybe that'd be a better way to put it. Marketing, advertising spending.
Okay.
And evaluate long-term.
Do you want it to start as of June 1st to pause?
Yeah, I think that would be a good time we could do it as.
One more question. Does this have to go to council? No. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any further discussion on any of it?
No.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay, motion passes. Next item, Chamber of Commerce updates. Sarah, do you have anything for us?
Yeah, I just wanted to, again, specific updates with the chamber. We did hire a youth apprentice to help specifically more with the marketing. She'll help get our social media page back up, going more strong. And we've launched a TikTok page. She'll get us back on Instagram as well. So those are some things that we're hoping maybe specifically doing. Her and I have some great ideas, and she's very, very outgoing and ambitious as well. So hopefully between her and I, we can get some momentum going there and attract some visitors and just make some splash there. So I'll be happy to share any feedback from what we're seeing there as well, and let Hallie know as well if there's anything that we can do to help her with that. And then she'll also obviously help with some tourism things and our destination guide and things like that as well. So she'll be a great asset, I think, to our team. And she just started this week, but she's able to start at noon and work the days that I'm there. So it's going to be great, I think. We have our golf event coming up again on June 2nd, wanted to mention. We are full with our registration, so that's pretty awesome. We are at capacity and then some. But we're still taking raffle donations and swag items for the swag bags. But just want to thank everyone for that. And hopefully if you have a chance to come network at the dinner or something, you're more than welcome to do that. We're having a fun Hawaiian theme this year, so. Business after hours, obviously the one for tonight got canceled, but we do have it rescheduled for the 29th of May. Then we have another one June 12th and another in July. So just excited for our members to be able to network and get out and talk with one another. And then just also mentioning too, ribbon cuttings. We've had a lot now scheduled with the nicer weather again. I think people are wanting to do those. So we've had some great intel with different services that Merrill offer that I think it's fun to highlight on our social media page and just get out in a newsletter and things like that I think people forget that these services are here in Merrill. So that's kind of fun to see, but we have a lot coming up as well for ribbon cuttings. So it's just good to see the growth and the vitalization that is happening in Merrill. So. Any questions?
No, thank you, though.
Yeah.
I do have a question, actually. Did we have anybody go on the draft bus or whatever?
We did. I know of specifically a handful of people, but I know that the bus for Thursday, which was technically the only day that Merrill had a pickup date for, was full. Technically, that isn't all just coming from Merrill. It was a Merrill stop, and then on the way, they might have even worked with Minocqua. I can't remember, but it was full, and I think it went over well, but I haven't heard any feedback, so I'm going with no news is good news, and hopefully that's good. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Sarah.
Yep.
Okay, next, Lincoln County Economic Development update. Sarah, are you still there on the phone?
Yes, I am.
You have anything you want to offer or share with us?
Just one thing this month, because I know I gave updates on the summit, and we've been working on some smaller projects this month, but I did want to let everyone know that we are doing some informational sessions. We've got one in Tomahawk next week, and then one in at Park City in Merrill on June 9th. And it's an opportunity for business leaders, or really anybody who's interested in learning a little bit more about what an Economic Development Corp does, what we do here, how we collaborate with the chambers, the city, the county to do economic development, and kind of talk a little bit more about what is, not only what we are doing, but also for businesses to kind of share their thoughts, their feedback on what we could potentially be doing to help them more. So one of the things that I'm hoping may come out of those conversations is related to the annual business survey results. Is there something more that we as the EDC can be doing to help with workforce efforts? So if there, anybody who's looking for a chance to not only learn about us, but also share thoughts on what the EDC can do to add more value, we'd love to see them. So these are the info session in Merrill. Like I said, Monday, June 9th, Park City. It starts at 8 a.m. And our goal is to have it a nice, tight 1 hour. So you kick off your week, and then you can move on. But other than that, just a lot of conferences and meetings seem to happen at this time of year. So that's keeping me busy. But if anybody has any specific questions, let me know. And I guess I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up that next week, Monday. Hopefully you've already seen there is a listening session at the T.B. Scott Library for our state representatives, Senator Felskowski and Representative Callahan, at 2:30 p.m. So if you have any topics that you want to bring up, especially specific to the state's budget, that is a great opportunity to do that. So, and that's all I have for today.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. All right. Monthly reports. So Hallie has her monthly reports. Do you, anybody have any questions for Hallie? Or Hallie, do you have anything you want to elaborate on or seek assistance with the food truck?
For the analytics report, things are looking up. It's been a little bit slow, but things are progressing in a positive way now with views on our city page. We're getting more people on YouTube for both pages right now, so that's a plus. And we do get quite a few views on those. It's not as high as I'd like it to be, but people are watching after the fact for our meetings. So they do have the opportunity to see those, so it's nice to see that people are watching them. For the report, I've met with people. There's not much to say about those. Food Truckapalooza is on Saturday. I have 29-ish food trucks, 70 craft vendors, 2 bounce houses, face painting, live music from 11 to 7, and a DJ in the other tent from 11 to 7. Yeah, I think that's all I got.
You got enough volunteers to help out with things?
I think I have enough to squeeze by.
Okay.
So if anybody else would be available, come find me or Mayor Haas, and we will delightfully find you a spot to be. But thank you for everybody for pitching in. A lot of the city workers have helped out behind the scenes, getting things mowed, getting barricades up and tenting and staking and doing everything. And I really appreciate the last minute stuff that comes up and the help that I've had from them this last couple weeks.
You're doing great.
Thanks.
All righty, thank you. Okay, and the monthly report for Midwest Communications. Cameo, anything you want to elaborate on for us in there?
Well,
Well, we started a new ad that Scott helped me with. And well, with your discussion, you guys are going to be pausing everything. So I will put a stop on June 1st. And then you guys can let me know what you guys decide for a decision moving forward. We can do an overall review on how many impressions total you got, and so that you can see everything from start to finish, if that would be something for you.
Sure.
You know, so we can do that. So since there's a pause, there's really no other thing unless anybody has any questions.
Well, we appreciate that, and yeah, whatever information you can provide to us, that's great. And you know, it's not that we have not appreciated all your assistance and stuff, but we just want to make sure we're all headed in the right direction still. So hopefully we still will be. We'll find out.
Yep. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, and then consider placing the monthly reports on file. I don't know if we need to do anything with that. You want to make a motion to put the reports on file? All right, I'll second it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Are you in favor of that, Rebecca?
Yes.
All righty. And that passes. And then the last thing is public comment. Is there any other public comment? Anyone have any public comment to share? Okay, hearing none. Our next meeting will be Thursday, June 19th at 5:15. And I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
And I'll second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.